Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have some changes today to look at. There are Havoc Demon Hunter changes on the 10.0.7 PTR. We're going to look at them today, go over what they are, if they're good, if they're bad, what it changes for our gameplay, and what it all means. So, Demon Hunter. Reduce the range that Fodder to the Flame Demons can spawn by 20%. Now, I have some notes here. I'm going to be reading them. Forgive me, this was a very kind of quick video I'm putting together, so I'm going to be reading off some notes that I took down. So in terms of this change, this should make it a lot easier to kill the demons when they spawn. Sometimes they would spawn like super far away and either they weren't in range, or you would try to throw a glaive and it would be so far out that like your glaive would bounce to other mobs instead of going to the demon. Or if your glaive did go and hit the demon and it was all the way in Narnia, that demon would die out there, meaning the demon soul would be out in Narnia as well. So it made it pretty annoying to try to, track down that demon soul. So hopefully this is going to help with that. It's just going to spawn 20% closer. I think this will help with the demon getting stuck in places too. Like it happens all the time in Court of Stars. If you're inside one of the buildings or you're outside one of the buildings, the demon will try to spawn somewhere else and it'll get stuck in a wall or, up in the air, everywhere. It gets stuck everywhere. So hopefully this will help with that. The next change is the demon soul generated upon killing a Fodder to the Flame Demon will now land in front of it towards the Demon Hunter whenever possible. So I think this is a good change, pretty sure. How it used to work was that the demon soul would always spawn behind the demon after you killed it. So the way I played around it was I would face my character the way that I wanted to move. Say we were like fighting a pack or we were heading towards a new pack. I would face my character towards that direction, and the demon would be in front of me with its back facing kind of where I wanted to go. So I would kill the demon and then I'd fell rush through, and because the demon soul was spawning behind the demon, I would get the demon soul through my fell rush and I would carry on my way. So it sounds like now that's still what you would do if you're moving in a direction, but what this does help with is stationary combat, right? So when you're standing still, like for example, a fight like Taros, right? The demon is going to spawn close to you, 20% closer, and when you kill it, that soul is going to be spawning in front of the demon instead of behind the demon. So you're going to have to move less to get the demon soul on a stationary fight. It should spawn kind of right in front of you. And that's great. That's great, right? If the demon is coming to you, you let it come close, then you kill it, the demon soul should pretty much spawn right under your feet. So it is a minor change, but it's a good change, a very good one. The other change is Blind Fury now increases I-beam damage and duration by 10%, 20%, was duration only by 25 and 50. So this is where things get a little confusing and a little complicated, but the TLDR of this is it is a slight nerf, but there are some hidden benefits to it, and we'll talk about those. So with Blind Fury, your I-beam channel will be slightly shorter than it was previously with the talent, but it does more damage in that time to try to compensate. So I-beam is essentially doing its full damage in 0.6 seconds less time, and instead of gaining 120 Fury from the channel, you'll be gaining 96, which honestly is fine because we would end up overcapping Fury during the channel pretty much any time you tried to I-beam. So the reduced time channeling also frees up another global, so that's something to keep in mind. You're going to be able to, get out of your I-beam channel and start using your, death sweep or annihilations that much sooner, which is a good thing. Now, according to the smart players who figured this stuff out, not me, it is a 4% nerf to just I-beam damage. Fell devastation damage remains untouched, and the amount that it does is not tied to the duration of I-beam, so fell dev is still untouched, going to do the same damage. And that is a pretty substantial part of the damage we get from casting I-beam. So that is good. Now the kind of hidden buff here is that with the channel being shorter, there's going to be less moments where we have to manually cancel our I-beam casts to move out of a mechanic or dodge a swirly. Every time that unfortunately has to happen, not only are we losing I-beam damage, but we're losing out on the Furious Gaze haste buff because the channel needs to finish completely for us to get that buff. So this is going to help with that. I have found that to be a bit of a problem, this expansion especially. since it seems so many bosses have, you know, random swirlies being shot out literally everywhere. So this should help with that. So the other changes, improved Fel Rush and the choice node of Desperate Instincts / Netherwalk have swapped locations in the spec tree. Furious Throws and Fel Eruption have swapped locations in the spec tree. So with these choice nodes, I'm not going to get too much into it because I usually just end up confusing myself talking about pathing and spending points to unlock other talents. But all you need to know is these swaps change nothing. Literally nothing. We still have to sacrifice damage talents for utility, and that's exactly how it was before. I really don't understand the thought process with these moves. It didn't solve anything, and it's kind of left everyone just scratching their heads. The only players that do benefit from this are the people playing the no mover build, which you shouldn't really be playing because it's worse than all the other builds. But if you are playing that build, it helps you take Netherwalk a bit better, a bit easier. But I do want to add that, like, even though the no mover build is, you know, pretty subpar in terms of damage, there are actually a lot of players that play that build, and it is something to kind of consider that these builds, these talent trees, aren't always made and designed with the high-end players in mind, right? They have to cater to everyone. So these changes to the talent positions, even though they aren't helping the builds that we play as high-end players, they are helping the lower-end players get something that we could get that they couldn't get as easy. So just something to consider. There are many more people playing the game than we think. A lot more types of players, casual players, mid-tier players, high-end players. We kind of have to look outside of our bubble and, you know, realize that the majority of the player base aren't just high-end raiders and, you know, mythic plus pushers. There are actually a lot of casual people in normal guilds, heroic guilds, who, you know, were probably playing the no mover build, and they're going to benefit from this. But for everyone else, we'd still have to give up very important talents that we need to make any of the other builds function properly to get these utility talents like Netherwalk and Fel Eruption. So I hope they maybe take a closer look at this. So thanks for watching. Oh, there's one more change. Vengeance reduced the health of Fodder to the Flame Demons by 20%. So this hopefully means that Vengeance will be able to one-shot their demons now with the Throwglaive. It's about time. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.